Oh yes, good morning, good afternoon to you, good evening to you, depending on where you're watching us from. This is the Confab on Esteem Radio Vision. Yes, we are located at Obokun Avenue in Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. Today on the Confab, we examine three stories that caught a court across leadership, accountability, and the human cost of power from Nigeria to the global stage. Now, in Turkey, the presidency has played down concerns after President Bola Tinubu bravely stumbled during a ceremonial event in Ankara, insisting the president is in good health and fully engaged in his official visit. While officials describe the incident as just minor, it has once again sparked public debate about transparency, about optics, and how much Nigerians should know about the physical readiness of their leaders. Now, here at home, a deeply troubling account is emerging from Makoko in Lagos. A carpenter says he lost his 3-week-old daughter amid chaos that followed a demolition exercise that was carried out by the Lagos State government. Allegations of excessive force, destruction beyond agreed boundaries, and reports of multiple deaths have raised urgent questions about governance, about accountability, and the cost of urban development of vulnerable communities. Now, internationally, in South Korea, a former first lady has been sentenced to prison for corruption after accepting lavish gifts while she was in office, with both her and her husband now being behind bars. The case highlights the strength of institutions and reignite global conversations about justice, about power, and whether anyone should be above the law. These stories demand more than just sympathy. They demand scrutiny. So let's get into the conversation this morning. Once again, welcome to the Confab. I am Chidima Abel, and I have with me...
Ajiboye.
And also...
Oluwatoyosi, Solanke.
All right, let's start with the very first story here that says, presidency downplays Tinubu's stumble, says Turkey visit is still on course. Presidency downplays Tinubu's stumble, says Turkey visit on course. You know, the presidency has reassured Nigerians that President Bola Tinubu is in good health and proceeding with his scheduled visits to Turkey as planned, following a brief stumble during a ceremonial reception in Ankara on Tuesday. The update was provided by the President's Special Advisor on Media and Public Communications, Sunday Dara, via his verified X handle. Dara confirmed that the President moved from the ceremonial welcome to scheduled bilateral meetings with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and other senior officials. Now, I want to come to you, Ajiboye. What do you have to say about this? You know, yesterday, the news was everywhere on social media that the president,
everywhere.
yes, it was everywhere. All the newspapers carried it, and you know how citizen journalism works. It was all over the social media. This time, you don't even need to open the traditional newspaper. You don't need that. It was everywhere. Bloggers, they said the president stumbled. You know, some people try to exaggerate it. Yes, that's just the truth. Some people made so much news out of it, and now the special advisor to the president has come out to say that it was just a minor thing, that the president stumbled on a metal and then, you know, had to lost balance. That was what that's the story we have this morning.
Okay.
The presidency has reassured Nigerians that the president, though speculation has it that he stumbled, they said he did not stumble. He actually stepped on a metal, but then that he is still in his good health. So, what do you have to say about
Nobody said
this?
the president is not in good health.
You know, when you talk about stumbling, a lot of things could actually lead to that stumbling. But then they are saying that it's as though they are trying to rule out that stumbling. You understand the word? They're trying to rule it out. They're saying the president did not just
Well,
stumble,
Chidima, can I ask you a question? Are you trying to inform my opinion? I'm trying to give my opinion.
I'm trying to make
It's as if you are trying to direct my opinion.
All right,
here.
no. All right, okay, speak your mind. I was actually asking
Thank
your
you.
thoughts. So.
Yes, and I was going to give my thought, but it's as if you were trying to make me be careful the words I use, as if you want to, you know, inform what kind of opinion I will make. That's why I had to ask you. Are you trying?
No, not at all.
Exactly. So first of all, like you said, The president is in good health. And the spokesperson for the president, Bayo Onanuga, will have to do his job, because his job is to be the spokesperson for the president, is to do PR. And PR is public relations. He has to cover up the debt. Now, there's no debt here. The president is well advanced in years. Even to be more clear, to clarify that his real age is unknown, but yes, his age is very much advanced. Meaning that such stumbles, so to say, is normal and is common because of his age. His health and his fitness is not going to be compared to that of a 30-year-old, a 20-year-old, or let's even go even further down the lane, 18-year-old. It's not going to be the same.
Very
But
true.
this is where I want the federal government to take note. A president stumbled, and the whole nation on social media was laughing at him. The nation didn't commiserate with the president. The nation was, in fact, some people were even saying, oh, it was a fantastic fall. They were mocking the president. If the president was doing well, the nation wouldn't have mocked him for falling. After all, it's to be expected, given his age. And at such age, some physical capabilities should not be expected again. Let's juxtapose him with the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is also, well advanced in age. In fact, Donald Trump has also made some gaffes. Let's even go a bit further back and talk about the former president of the United States before Donald Trump came in again. That's Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
When Joe Biden started showing signs of, of being
Weaknesses.
of being
old
weak,
age,
old age started
related
showing up.
sicknesses.
For example, he was making a speech and they slurred the speech. He forgot the road. He forgot the way to his office. He was walking to the backyard instead of to the office, and Secret Service had to all these things are common with old age. See, what happened in the US was the nation was divided. Some people were like, oh, he's advanced in age, he should. But did you notice nobody mocked him for being advanced? They just said he's advanced in age, he should probably retire. He doesn't need to be president again since old age is showing up.
Are you
and
really
it's
sure
affecting
nobody
him.
mocked him?
Yes, I'm sure Biden wasn't mocked. And if the mockery was and if it was mocked at all, maybe by the opposition party.
Okay.
By the opposition party. And even in their mockery, they had to give respect to his age. They didn't mock him. They even if they threw subtle jabs, I'm not saying there's no mockery. Even if they threw subtle jabs at him, it was subtle. It was more of a old age thing. They understood the fact that it was an old age thing. But what happened on the internet in Nigeria was that everybody was throwing shades at the president. Everybody, opposition party, normal citizens, commoners especially. Do you know why? Because the general overview of Nigeria now is that the man at the top, who is the president, and no matter what anybody says, say all the governors this, the local government chairman this, the truth of the matter is because of the system we practice in Nigeria, everything goes to the president. It boils down to the president. So now, when we perceive the president is not doing well, is not working well for the people of Nigeria, and then such a thing happens, the frustration that Nigerians have felt, especially the common man, it is now released in a form of vindictiveness. And that was what happened. It was just, there was not a single post that felt for the president and said, oh, it's just as a result of his old age. Don't you have elders? It's normal for him to fall. We feel for the president falling at his old age. And that was why you had to see the PR. Because I saw that video, I don't see the president stepping on the metal. He stepped on the metal, and yet everyone passed that same area, they didn't step on the metal. It's okay to understand that he is advanced in age and such things can happen. He could stumble. His eyesight might deceive him at the moment. He didn't see where he was stepping, and then he took a wrong step and he misstepped and he stumbled. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that Nigeria has been disgraced on open field. I mean, Donald Trump, right now, there are speculations that he just recovered from a stroke, which is a possibility. You look at Joe Biden. He's not the only one. You look at some leaders around the world. Let's talk about Nelson Mandela in his old age. Nobody mocked Nelson Mandela. Even when I saw videos where he was literally, shaking and trembling when he took each steps. No, there was this deep respect and reverence. Why? Why could he inspire such respect and reverence among the citizens of his country? Because of the sacrifices he had made for the freedom of that country and because of how he presented himself as a leader. Can we say the same objectively about the man in the seat now? That is President Tinubu. Can we collectively, Nigerians collectively, agree that his tenure, this is first term, has been good towards Nigerian, or it has put Nigerians in unprecedented levels of suffering and poverty? And that's where you see, listen, poverty brings about suffering, poverty, oppression, hardship. It brings the worst out in humans. And that's exactly what we have seen.
So their reaction, I mean, Nigerian
Their
reaction came as a result of
it came as a result
bad
of,
leadership
of
and
what
bad
they see,
experiences.
of their experience with this present government. So that's why I'm like, the government should take note of that.
Okay, now, Solanke, I know you've been, opening your mouth. You want to say something. What do you have to say with respect to that?
Well, I did like to say that there is no one that is above mistake. It might have actually stepped on a melter. No one,
Okay.
even a 2-year-old boy can actually stumble on something and fall, despite the fact that he's of age or not. Though Nigerians, I'm saying from the aspect of Nigerians shaming him, I see it as a result of his bad governance. Maybe that's why they're actually shaming him for falling. But if you ask me, no one is above mistake. There's no one that can actually fall. So even if it seems unbelievable, since we are not there and we don't have any prior record of his health issues, or we can't actually recall maybe he has an health issues or anything aside the age difference. Let's believe he actually stumbled on something. Because I believe anyone can actually stumble on something. Though
You do have a point. You have a point.
yes,
But
anybody can actually stumble on something.
But this is the
that
case,
does not,
Solanke.
wait, please.
All right.
I'll wait.
That does not actually exclude the fact that Nigerians are not even showing sympathy or anything toward, because I saw a lot of posts yesterday and they were kind of making jest of him, and it's as a result of his bad governance. So that's just all I can say.
Okay,
Anyone can fall.
you wanted to say something either to negate or to support.
not really to negate. I mean, this is not
what she's
this is
saying.
a
No.
discussion, right?
Yes.
This is an analysis, and we analyze current affairs.
So you wanted to say
So
something to
what I
buttress her
wanted to
point.
say, not to buttress her point or to stand against her, is the fact that she said anyone can make a mistake, and that's what we are saying. I'm saying that there was no need for any PR at all, because it's a normal thing. It should be expected with the age of the president. I mean, a young man like me can even make a mistake and stumble and fall
Do
when
you
I'm
have
walking.
a PR? You don't have.
I don't
you
have.
expect
So
your
why does
PR
the
to
why does
come
the
out.
why does the
the
president
president
need?
has a
nation.
PR?
So he
He
has to come
stumbled.
out.
He's a human being. He's
address
not
it.
a
It is in
god.
his
That's what we are
office.
saying.
It is
He's
his
a
office
human.
to address the public.
He's a human. He stumbled
Oh,
and he
Mayo, you
stumbled.
don't
That's
have a
all.
PR
There
to
was no
talk.
need for PR to start saying and trying to cook up stories for us.
He's not cooking.
I
up
can tell you 100% Baba did not step on any metal. That's why it's so funny to
Okay,
me.
that's the point now. So
He did not
I was
step on
still
any
right
metal.
when I
He
said you
stumbled.
wanted to
That was
negate
all.
her.
He
On
stumbled.
On your part, the president did not
stumble.
did not
He stumbled, and that is okay. It's not a bad thing.
There was no matter on your part.
Yes.
Chidima.
So it's as a result of old age or what? No, tell us. Since
Yes,
you said
now there are
he
so
did
many
not just-
factors.
What could have led to that? Since you said it was not just
I
a
mentioned
mental
them
kind
earlier.
of stumbling.
His
You said old
age,
age.
his
Okay.
physical fitness is no longer what it used to be. I mean, exactly, given his age.
Now,
He can't be as physically fit as he used to be. So these kind of things, even me, a young man, sometimes if I'm walking and I'm not careful where I step, I will stumble. So what are we now saying? That's why I was saying that there was no need for the PR. But you know what?
But do you know why?
The APC as a party, especially in this trial, they have been just so used to everything being PR. They've been used to just everything being propaganda and media agenda, that they can't even allow a simple error such as a stumble by the president.
but you said
to go
politics
past.
is a game of is a dirty game. You always say it here.
This
and
is
you
not
have to play with
politics.
strategy.
This
So
is not politics.
This is exactly
What is
what
the
you said. They are
strategy here,
playing-
for God's
They are
sake?
playing the dirty
He's
game.
an
which
old
they are-
man and he stumbled. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I will let you know that the defensive reaction by the PR was as a result of people's speculations.
Yes.
That's just it. So it's not the wrong thing if you ask me.
So he actually addressed the public
Just
too,
to change, just to let them to be in the know what actually happened. So
to
it's not wrong.
disabuse their minds. That
But
the
do you know? But
president
I
of
feel like that PR did the counter. It countered what it was supposed to do, because it was supposed to make people feel sympathetic for the president, but unfortunately it just brought more mockery to the people, because the people are not dumb. The people are smart. They know what happened. We understand. Like, I could analyze this for you, that it's all just because the president is old. And that is not a bad thing. Everybody wants to grow old. Everybody knows when you grow old, you're not going to have the same strength, the same physical capabilities as you did when you were young. It could have just been, oh, it was so unfortunate the president stumbled and he almost fell down. However, he recovered. I mean,
Believe me, since
they should hire me as PR,
no matter
not
how
to form a story and say
the
there was
PR
a
construct the
there was a
message,
metal object on the floor and blah
that's
blah
a
blah.
white lie.
It was a silly joke to me. I was like,
So
come on.
in other words,
of all
in-
the things you
in-
could have
in
said.
in other words, you're trying to say that the PR did not do a good job.
Exactly,
He did
and
not
that there was no
construct the
need.
message
There was no
the way
need.
he's
There was
supposed
no
to.
need for the PR in the first place. There was no need for it in the first place. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
what
Solanke
you-
disagrees with
yes,
that.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Firstly, I would like to say that no matter how good or how bad the PR might have constructed the sentences, people already have bad thought, like
Bad impression of the president.
Bad impression about the president already. So there's no how he wants to construct it. Secondly, I would like to tell you that why the PR actually came out to talk was just to actually change people's speculations about it. Though they already know that our president is actually of age, but people were like, maybe he's nursing an ailment, or there's more to the story. So the PR actually coming out to change people's narrative is a good thing. And
I'm
I
not
would
saying
like
it's
to tell you
bad. I'm just saying
there's
that
no
it was
how
not needed.
it's actually needed.
Okay, explain now.
And I would like to tell you that there's no how constructive, how argumentative, how expository the message or the write-up of the PR might be. People, it can never change the fact that people do not.
Okay, she's saying
like
that
the
it did not
government
appeal
support.
to
It will not
everybody.
appeal to everyone. So the PR
There
is
are
good.
people who
It's-
will buy into it, and there are those who will never buy into it. That's just what she's
That's
saying.
it.
So what do you want to say now, Ohio? Just to wrap up that very argument, because I still have more to draw out from this particular story.
PR, no PR. The fact is the fact. The president is advanced in age, and such things can happen anytime. Let's show a bit of sympathy for the president. Listen, regardless of how his policies make you feel, whether his policies
All right,
brought
I'm sorry
hardship
to
or
cut
not.
you. I will come back to you. I think we have a comment here coming from Olaniyi Sunday. He's been flowing out in the conversation. He says, "Good work. Thank you so much, Olaniyi Sunday. We can see you from here.
Thank you, Olani Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you were saying something. Oh,
So I was saying that regardless, it doesn't matter what policies he has made. He's still a human being, and he deserves that key empathy. He almost fell, and if he had fallen and he injured himself or it hurt himself, it wouldn't have been good, no matter what. The fact that he stumbled is not a shame, neither is it a slap on our face. He's a man, he's human. He will commit errors, he would fall, he will stumble. That's not a problem. But I'm saying that the consequences of that stumble should let the federal government know where they stand in the hearts of the people.
Okay.
That's the most important thing I feel we should draw from
So
there.
that fall actually exposed the minds of the citizens,
Towards
how they feel
the government,
about
how they
the
feel
Nigerian
about
government,
Nigerian
the present
government.
administration.
Because if the government is doing well, because now if you ask the APC or APC supporters, they will tell you the government is doing well, everything is getting. But now, look at what we saw just because the president stumbled. If the president had fallen, it would have been worse than that. I trust my Nigerian music mixer and video mixers. They would have made music video out of it. That is for you. Did you see what Jonathan's wife went through back in the day?
Yeah, which is
In the hands of Nigerians. And it's funny how it was the same party in power now, how it was them that were spearheading those kind of edits and stuff back in the day. So that's to tell you that this thing is not rocket science. Do well, and the people will love you. Do the opposite, and even if the people cannot talk, because now one of the ways that we can tell you that we don't like you is when we protest. We don't like what you are doing. But now in Nigeria, protest has literally been clamped. You can't even say you want to protest. Some people will come up with counter protest as if protest is a sin. You have protesters in Edo being jailed for protesting against kidnapping. They were not protesting against government, so they protest against kidnapping and they were jailed, which is against the constitution. So you look at all these things, and then the president stumbled, and look at what happened. People have been repressing their emotions for a long time. It was just an avenue for them to unleash all the negative emotions they had.
That's just it.
And that is why I said this is a sign to the federal government to look at themselves, to check themselves. Are we doing the right thing?
All right, now let me come this way. Let's okay. if it were to be true, let's just
Okay.
that the president is actually ill or sick, or will it be right for the presidency to review to the citizens his medical condition? Is it right? How do
Well,
you see it? Because people have been saying, normally citizens will always say things. A lot of people have been saying the president is old, just like you said, he's very old, and there are old age-related sicknesses. Okay, so the president could be ill, very, very. He could be ill. I'm not saying he's ill, but he could be ill. And then, so is it right for the presidency to review to the citizens? Do they have the right to
I feel
know
the
state
lady
of their
has
health?
something to say before I come in.
I mean, do the citizens have the right to know the state of their president's health?
That's
Yeah.
a good question. Well,
The citizens-
Solanke.
Yes, Chidima. The citizens actually have the right to know the state of health of our president. Though it might comes with a lot of disadvantages, just like more of this castigating we're seeing, more of hate speech and all. But then I feel it's right for us to know. But I still believe that it's in the best option of the president to actually step down to get himself treated, and the Chetima, that's his vice, should take over the governance and let him take over his
Many
health.
Nigerians would disagree with that.
But I believe we Nigerians should know, even though we will still say a lot of bad things, that why when he knew he's not in the right
Why did he
health,
contest?
why did he contest? They will still talk. No matter what you do, I just want you to know something, that whether you do good or bad, people will still talk about it. There's
Exactly.
nothing you do that you can actually we people, we are so insatiable.
But I would complete that and say whether you do good or bad, people will talk. So just do good no matter what.
Exactly, because I was about to ask, since no matter what you do,
But
people will
just
still
do
talk.
good
So
anyway.
what?
Just do good anyway. Since
Okay.
they will talk, do good anyway.
it's better
Because
you just take
people
care
will be
of
like, okay,
yourself.
I can do bad then. Since they will talk that way, no, do good either way.
Okay,
Do
so
good
what
for
do you have to
posterity's
say?
sake. She has a point. She has a point that the people actually have the right to know. But see, having the right to know is not the same as needing to know. Now, if the president's health, if it's at a stage where he can no longer function and there's a need for him to step down, then yes, the people will be informed. The people must be informed, I should say that, because I know that in Nigeria, sometimes they will not inform us whatever is going on with the leaders. They like to be so secretive. They want to keep everything a
want to be
secret.
discreet with
Now, if his health, if he's suffering from minor, like old age related illnesses and everything, minor things that will not severely affect his governance and him dispensing his duties as the president of this great nation, Nigeria, there's no need to reveal all that to, the citizens. If it's not going to severely affect him dispensing his duties. But if it is going to incapacitate him, please let the citizens know. Like I said, we have the right to know, and our right to know is not the same as the need to know. But in this case where he's going to incapacitate the president, he cannot do anything again, he cannot sign, the Nigerian citizens need to know at that moment. You see, I didn't say they have the right, they need to
need
know.
to know.
So that's the angle that I will come in from.
Okay, so one last question. What age would you recommend for the presidential seat, for the seat of the presidency in Nigeria?
If
Because
I had
people already
my
saying
way,
the president is
if
old,
I had
and
my
we don't
way,
want elderly people again. We want the youth. The
If
youth are
I
clamoring
had
for the
my
seat.
way, this
We
is
are
it.
called leaders
What
of
age would you
tomorrow, yet
recommend?
you are not allowed to lead.
If I had my
And you
way
need to
in
get
the
old before
electoral
you can lead.
process,
So
if I had my way in the electoral process, the ideal age for president in this country, the ideal age for presidency to start in the country will be from the ages 33 to ages 55. 55 is the limit.
okay.
55, from 55, the ability to still serve strongly for the next 8 years is still
Yeah,
assured.
yeah.
But after that, that's all. So ages 55 is
Okay,
okay.
ages 33 to 55.
To
That's
55.
it. Okay, what
If I
about
had
you,
my
Solanke?
way.
Yeah, thank you, Chidima. That's actually reasonable. I concur on that. I concur with him.
Okay, viewers at home, I believe you're enjoying the conversation. We will just move to the very next story here. We don't have time again. Now, this one says, how I lost my 3-week-old daughter to Makoko demolition. This is coming from a carpenter. He has come out to narrate his ordeal. A carpenter, Papa Eve Amosu, has narrated how he lost his 3-week-old daughter, Moreni Keji, during last week's demolition carried out by the Lagos State government in the Makoko area of the state. I'm sure you're aware of this event. Amosu spoke with Punch Metro during a visit to the community on Tuesday, said his wife fell into the lagoon with their newborn while trying to escape the chaos that followed the tear gas that was fired by policemen attached to the task force team. Now, according to this man, on that day, he said the police officers fired tear gas because they said they did not want people to gather in groups. Then his wife tried to move away from the area with their newborn daughter, but then unfortunately, she fell into the lagoon with the baby. This is tragedy. Now, they said when they were rescued, they rescued them from the water, they took them to the hospital, and then later on they were told that the daughter had died before they even arrived. What do you have to say about this, Solanke?
Well, I must say that's actually disheartening. It's a bad news. May the Lord give the family the grace to handle their loss. Well, I believe that before the demolition should take place, there should be like a 3-week prior notice or some weeks prior notice for
yes,
the
they were
residents
informed
in that area to actually evacuate the environment because of casualties like this. So if they were informed, why were there still people in that area? Why were there people still in that area when they've been informed priorly that there will be a demolition that will take place so time in this environment? So I believe if the people have been properly informed prior to that time, this incident wouldn't have happened. So the government should please help. And wherever there are residents, there are people, the police officers or who are there that actually operated the tear gas something, they saw people there now. Why would they have to do such a thing when they can actually see residents still in that environment? So there should be a proper method whereby they can actually help to evacuate the people. Then if there is anything chaotic, then they can actually resolve it calmly without harming anyone. So that's my take on that.
Okay, what's your take, Muhayo?
Incompetence. The police were incompetent, and it's not a surprise. The Nigerian police has always been the flagship of incompetence in this country, and their incompetence led to the loss of a little girl's life, and not just the little girl's life. Reports added that many other people, like 2 children and 3 adults, lost their lives in this operation.
People were still in that environment.
Why? There were better ways to do this, but you know, Nigeria, anyhowness, as I used to say, the headquarters of anyhowness in the world. So they were so incompetent. You don't just fire tear gas willy-nilly. The existence of tear gas is to control a chaotic crowd. These people were not being chaotic. The community leaders already agreed for the demolition, and this was the worst part. One of the community leaders said they agreed for the demolition to be within 30 meters of the power line along the lagoon, but the government officials and the state actors extended it to 520 meters.
Without informing the inhabitants.
Without informing people. Meaning, like, that's what I say about the incompetence.
All shades of
And unfortunately, Lagos state government is just so focused on, you know, looking good internationally and everything. They don't think about the humans. And I've said it that infrastructural development or internally generated revenue is not the best measure of a good governance. The best measure of a good government is the HDI, the Human Development Index, because what is the essence of your state? Looking good, looking beautiful. If the people within the state are suffering from penury, they are oppressed, they are dying willy-nilly for no reason, they don't have access to a good lifestyle, then what is the essence of the state being beautiful? The state can look like a village, but if the citizens are living like kings, then you have done your job. But that doesn't mean that the state should look like a village, because Nigerian politicians are very sly. They might take that and say, yes, the state, it looks like a village, but the people are living a good life. No, that's not what I was saying. Make the city beautiful, but focus on making the lives of the citizens even more beautiful than the city. All
right, before we wrap it up on that note, what's your advice to the government in case of next time? What's your advice? How should they carry out an event like this?
Events like this, they should stick to the agreements they have with the community leader. First of all, 30 meters to the power line along the lagoon was not inhabited because it was already scheduled for demolition. Nobody was staying there. When you now arbitrarily, without informing the people, you decided to extend the demolition for no reason, and then you bring police to start shooting tear gas to cause chaos, it leads to the loss of life. And that's why people will say that Nigerian government, Nigerian political leaders, they have no respect for human life. Because if they had respect for human life, these are the kind of things they should have anticipated. That if we suddenly start demolishing houses of people that were not informed that we would demolish their residence, and what was the plan for compensation? Or was it that whosoever was contracted to do that job, whosoever was instructed to do that job, has been paid to compensate these people, but because he has probably swallowed the money? I'm just, you know, this is just my conjecture at this moment. Because he has swallowed the money, he does not want to pay them, he wants to keep the money for himself. He now decided to use that tactics. There's a lot of things. The government should launch an investigation into this incident, and if anybody is found culpable, they should prosecute them to the full extent of the law. While it will not bring back those that died, at least it will give their families a sense of justice. Because I'm tired of hearing such things, the incompetence of government officials and police and all that, leading to the deaths of innocent
when
people.
it involves the poor.
A child, for that matter. I don't know, we are docile in this country. If this was outside the nation, the whole nation would have burst in flame. Lagos State will be suffering from arrest because of the death of a child right now. And we don't want such happening again. So the government has to really sit up. They have to sit tight. And they have to be up to their game. Enough of this incompetence. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We don't have time again. I can see that time is really running against us. So let's just push over to the next story, which will be marking the very last headline on the same edition of the Confab. Now we have this one that says South Korea's First Lady jailed for 20 months for taking bribes. And you know, the first question that, oh my God.
Can it ever happen in Nigeria?
That's exactly what people, I mean, the questions people have been asking. Can this actually happen in Nigeria? Ex-First Lady. Okay, now people are asking, can this happen in our country, Nigeria? So I was about to ask Oluwatoyosi Ajiboye before I come to Solanke. Now, how do you see this when you compare it with our country?
Well, you have to look at the cultural background contextually, first of all. South Korea is in Asia, and Asians as a collective, they have this kind of, it's not like there's no corruption in Asia, but they have this kind of, if you are caught, there are consequences. They understand it from ancient times when the emperor ruled. And the emperor was known as the son of the heavens. I'm sorry for giving us all this long story, but it's to establish a background to what I'm about to say. Now, the emperor is known as the son of heaven. He is above all under heaven, right? And his laws are what? But in order that the emperor will not be power drunk, there were also laws restricting the emperor. In so much as if the emperor commits a crime, he shall suffer the same punishment as a what? As a commoner. And those laws were sacred because the Asians believed that if you should break the laws, the God will rain down thunder and brainstorm against them. And that kind of culture survived over 5,000 years and more. And so even now that they're in modern times, that belief, that cultural belief that the emperor commits a crime, he shall suffer the same consequence as that of a commoner, still exists, even in their constitution. And that's why a president's wife can be jailed. Even the husband is implicated. Now let's come down to Nigeria culturally. In Nigeria, Oba Balori Ngwugbo is what Yoruba people used to say. They would say the king is king, he is Lord over all. What applies to the common man does not apply to the king. And that mentality is what we have been using in the interpretation of our laws. Even when the law says that all are equal before the law. The interpretation that our judiciary and our legal system, the interpretation they have been giving it with all these their one-sided judgments has been to show Nigerians that no, some people are more equal than the others. And that is when you juxtapose the two realities together. It has never happened in Nigeria. That a sitting first lady or even a sitting president will be arraigned. Even an ex-president has never been arraigned on charges. Because I was expecting someone like, may he rest in peace, wherever he is. They say don't speak bad of the dead. Yes. But this is not speaking bad. This is just talking the reality of what happened during his tenure. It was during former President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure that we started hearing stories like snakes swallowing money. He should have been brought, normal, in a sane climate, in a working system. When his tenure was over, he should have been charged by the EFCC to come and explain how in your tenure and all the officials that worked with him, by implication of them working under that government, they should have. But what did we see? Nothing. In this same Nigeria, one of the ambassadors being recommended by President Tinubu is someone who was charged for fraud in the United States, who has not even been extradited for his crimes. Yet, in Nigeria, the president is recommending him for the post of an ambassador. And you look at all these things and you start asking questions like, is the system in Nigeria even designed to work at all? And so when we see news like this, it shocks us. It doesn't shock me because I believe that I am well educated and I understand better that this is what it should be like in a working system. But it shocks a lot of people because what they've seen in Nigeria is the opposite, where the people with power get away with so much.
Okay, now on Solanke because of our time.
All right, I would like to say that South Korean governance is actually strong and largely independent because there no one is above the law. There's equity, and this will actually serve as a lesson because the citizens over there will know that once you do anyhow, you see anyhow. Unlike our system here in Nigeria, whereby
Only a poor man's child suffers
that's
consequences.
just it. Let's come down to just Kirikiri prison. It's a rich man's son, not even politician, just a wealthy man's son that is actually the victim, that is actually the criminal,
The perpetrator of the crime.
perpetrator of the crime. Meanwhile, someone that has not even been given the opportunity of a trial, that has not been tried, that has not been convicted to be a criminal, will be the one to serve the punishment. So it's how can I say? I don't know the word to use.
It's infuriating.
It's infuriating. It saddens. It's not a good thing to hear that a nation still practice favoritism of the highest level. Like there's nothing like equality. Once you have your money and you have influence over anyone, you can do anything and go scot-free.
All right, without wasting much of our time, because we want to wrap it up here, what lessons should other African countries like Nigeria draw from this?
Well, the lessons are big. I mean, look at South Korea. Look at South Korea. Do you know that South Korea's money is more devalued than the Naira? And yet their economy is booming. It's 100 times better than Nigerian economy. How? Their money is so devalued that Naira is worth more than the South Korean one. But the purchasing power of the Naira is useless beside the South Korean one. How? You ask. Well, because that is a country where there are consequences for mismanagement of public funds and public resources. And what happens is everybody sits down and everybody works well. Their system is working. They produce. Samsung and Kia and Hyundai, popularly called Hyundai, is being produced, is made. And it's their biggest exports to the world. Everywhere you go, you see Samsung phones, Samsung products, Kia products everywhere. A lot of these, our Android phones, they are all made in South Korea and China. Yes, let me not forget China too. And then you have Nigeria. What exactly are we exporting to the world? What are we producing? We devalued our Naira, but we have nothing to export that will bring in foreign exchange, that will balance the devaluation of the Naira. And these are the things. So once we have a country where even the highest echelon in government can suffer the same consequences as a poor man's son for committing the same crime, when we have such a system, well, I believe that we are going to see the results across broad, and this nation will be better for it.
All right, thank you so much, Solanke.
Well, I would like to say this to everyone aspiring to go for for any governmental post out there, that the changes start from us. A level or a post as low as a local government chairman, once you have this good mindset that you want to make a positive change, it will actually spread out to the higher hierarchy of this government. So let's actually not it's not about saying it. I believe in about actually practicing what we say about change. Let's have a positive mindset that this country can actually change if we actually practice the change we have been pronouncing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our viewers at home, this is where we're wrapping up the show. I believe you enjoyed the conversation so far. So don't forget that power always comes with responsibility, and governance must never lose its human face. So thank you so much for staying with us. Don't forget that this program will still come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. Until then, we want to appreciate our CEO in the person of Deacon Michael Adeboye Shaulu, the founder of Enyakbonle Foundation and Esteem Radio Vision. We also want to appreciate our producer here, Babs. Yes, he has done a great job. Babs, thank you so much. All right, for sponsorship and advert placement, you can always contact us on 0916 634-9956. Do well to follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook at Esteem Radio Vision and on YouTube at Esteem Studio. You can also email us at
esteemradiovision@gmail.com.
all right. Until we come your way again, I still remain Chidima Abel. And
Goodbye.
Oluwatoyosi Solanke.
Oh, my Ajiboye saying goodbye.
all right, bye for now.
Bye.